operettas, we always come out and say, it's wonderful seeing all of you.
Yes.
So, clothing optionality, as it were. And we hope you'll all sing the hymn to clothing optionality at the end, the Naturist anthem. That's after the operetta. For the operetta, we have 6 little pieces to show you, to present to you. Now, this operetta was actually conceived back in 1985 by Joel Shatzky and Lutz, wonderful lyricist, librettist, and composer whom I knew since the 1970s and 80s. And in fact, during COVID, there was a contest by the York Theatre which involved collaborations, writing new theater songs. I wrote 7 songs, and 6 of them actually were more popular than any of the others in terms of likes, on YouTube. But Joel Shatzky was my collaborator of choice. I've written over 80 songs with him, including 2 operas, 2 operettas, 2 musicals. And I called up to collaborate with him only to find out he had died of COVID in April of last year. So those were written in his memory. And I collaborated with his widow on an obituary, during which we found, looking at his papers, that he had written close to 200 scripts, libretti, screenplays, sketches. In addition, including the ones that he written with me, there's so many more. And one of the pieces that he'd written in 1985 was Damn That Apple, which I thought would be absolutely perfect for a naturist environment, because it's about Adam and Eve and God and the angel. Now, 26 years ago, we presented a piece called Adam and Lilith and Eve. Lilith was the first of Adam, you know about that. That was tremendous fun. It was probably the most spectacular thing we ever did for the Naturist Society in Buxton, Pennsylvania. And Gil Pacer was in that production with us. And now he's joined us again. He's been doing works with us at Sunsport in Florida and at Empire Haven, the Naturist Festival at Empire Haven. Helene and I first performed there in 1994, and then in 2003, every single year until last year when COVID killed it. And then it died. I mean, that festival doesn't exist anymore. And the Eastern, the Naturist Society, for whom we've been performing since 1989, beginning in France and then in various gatherings, was supposed to have a gathering around this time in Massachusetts, and it was canceled. So we didn't have any place to go with this work that we've been working on for since I learned that Joel died in April of last year. And we managed to do one hybrid performance of it with Adam and Eve live in the flesh, nude, in Sunsport in Florida. And God and the Angel, I hadn't been vaccinated yet, so we didn't travel. We did it from our living room, on Zoom, on the screens above. And we, again, decided to use that hybrid version a little bit when we did it at the Center for the Arts in Homer, New York, last week. And we had projections during the whole thing. Now, we didn't have time to get projections during the whole thing this time. But you'll see the projections that we used in the overture when we play that for you on video. And then we'll do the operetta. But before we do the operetta, this whole evening actually is conceived as a memorial to Joel Shatzky and Lutz, and also to honor Tom Lehrer. How many of you know the work of Tom Lehrer? He's probably the greatest English language satirist that ever lived. And he's 93 now. Every year, almost every year, there's a notice that somebody writes that he's died. And I call him up and I mention it to him. He said, "Oh, it's all right. I don't mind. It keeps the junk mail away." But he was an incredible satirist and writer of lyrics and music, mostly in the 1950s and 60s. But we'll get to that in a moment. The first 3 pieces that we're doing are from the first musical that I wrote with Joel Shatzky called Super Spy, the secret musical. A spy whose mission is so secret, even he doesn't know what he's doing. And we're going to do 3 excerpts of that. Helene will do a solo, then we'll do a duet, and then she'll do a tour de force here. And now here's Helene Williams.